stay consistent and determined in investing.
Europe is inching dangerously close to a war it was never meant to fight. In a single day, NATO discussed opening fire on Russian aircraft, the European Parliament voted to authorize shooting down drones, and President Volodymyr Zelensky warned that Putin's next mobilization could start a world war. Together, the moves signal that Europe's leaders are preparing for confrontation, not negotiation. According to the Financial Times, NATO allies, led by France, the UK, and border states, are weighing a more decisive military stance against Russia. Proposals include arming spy drones, deploying combat drones near Russia's frontier, and loosening engagement rules so NATO pilots can open fire if Russian aircraft violate Allied airspace.
This is exactly what Russia wants, for us to overreact and then claim that NATO started the war with Russia. You cannot fall into that trap.
The push follows a wave of mysterious drone incursions across Europe, including disruptions at airports in Munich, Oslo, and Copenhagen. But even within NATO, voices like Estonia's defense minister, Hanno Pevkur, warn that this is exactly the overreaction Moscow expects. Hours later, the European Parliament approved a sweeping resolution urging member states to down unauthorized Russian aircraft and drones and brandishing the label of state terrorism against Moscow. Lawmakers also backed a drone wall on the EU's eastern border and fresh sanctions, including on China for allegedly aiding Russia. Analysts say the EU has effectively given itself political cover to use force, turning airspace security into open militarization. In Kyiv, President Zelensky warned that a new Russian mobilization could ignite a world war, claiming Putin might seek quick success beyond Ukraine. Critics, however, view his rhetoric as pressure on Europe to escalate support, even as public fatigue and economic strain deepen.
Wherever there is quick success, that is where Putin will go if there is mobilization. There is a significant risk that Putin will actually go to a world war. Mobilization means a definite loss of popularity for the Russian leader. That is the only reason he has not done it.
Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova said the West's approach is not diplomacy, but escalation, describing EU leaders as schemers and laymen, incapable of negotiation. Her words, once dismissed as rhetoric, now echo the reality of Europe's mood: anxious, armed, and edging toward the very confrontation it claims to fear.
At the EU summit in Copenhagen on October 1st, European leaders once again demonstrated that their response to the continued conflict in Ukraine is not diplomacy, but escalation. End of quote. Yes, indeed. Nowadays, in the positions of Euro diplomats, you find either real schemers and fraudsters, whom the EU justice system should be interested in, or absolute laymen, people who have no idea what diplomacy is, placed there specifically so they won't ask questions.
From NATO's rules of engagement to the EU's drone wall, Europe is sliding from deterrence into provocation. For many observers, the continent is preparing to fight a war that is neither necessary nor its own. Diplomacy has been replaced by declarations and peace by paranoia.